Pulse. Welcome UNLV students to the Shotokan Karate Studies program. By now you should know you've already warmed up, you've gotten the warm-up that you feel your body needs, you're adequate for starting the program this morning. So let's go ahead and get started with our typical, quick, general warm-up. Ready? And Hajime. Ichi. Ni. San. Yon. Go. All right, warmed up good there. Let's turn to the side, bring our heels to our glutes. Good, all right. Let's go ahead and do some high knees as well. Get my workout recorded, here we go. High knees. You can do this slow, just like I'm doing. Again, just bringing your knees up. You can do it fast if you feel like kind of bouncing a little bit, working your calves a little bit. Or if you want to go slow, go slow. And yame. All right, let's come up on our toes, stretching out our calves. And yame. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and do some body hip twists. And yame. Good. Arm up, across the side, stretching out our shoulder. Good, other side. Again, don't hold these too long. Just doing dynamic stretches here. Nothing too static, nothing being held for too long. Switching over. Other side. Good. Feet just widen shoulder width. Go down, touch the floor. Go to the right. Back to center. Go to the left. Back to center. All right, make that a little wider. We're gonna go down to the right, turning up on our left heel, stretching out our hamstring. Good, now we're gonna turn to the left in a long front stance. Pushing on the quad here, pushing the knee over the toe. And down to a runner stand, or a runner stretch. Good. Back up. All right, we're gonna do everything to the other side now. Leaning to the left onto the right heel. Toes pointed up. Stretching out your hamstring. All right, let's rotate that all the way around. Good front stance, long, deep, pushing on the quad, pushing the knee out over the toe, getting a good stretch. Transition that into a runner stretch. And come back to center, come back standing. Good. Turn around, fix your gi. Back to me. Yoi. Subirachi. Free. Yoi. Seiza. Dojo-kun. 一つ、人格完成に人を盛ること。一つ、誠の道を守ること。一つと力の精神を養うこと。一つ、礼儀を重んずること。一つ、景気の湯を戒めること。Ready? That's it. よい。しばらくち。Ready? よい。So today's class is the intermediate class number 5. So in this class we're going to start learning the kata Heian Yondan. Heian Yondan is your traditional kata, it's traditional kata number 4. So you've already learned Shodan, Nidan, Sandan, and this one is a bit different. So Heian Yondan is the first kata where you're actually going to be doing side kicks. Heian Yondan is the first kata where your pattern is actually going to change significantly. So Heian Shodan, you have this H pattern. Heian Nidan, you have a very similar pattern, right? And then Heian Sandan, you have basically an upside down T as the pattern. Heian Yondan has a combination, right? So Heian Yondan, you're going to start here, moving this direction, you're going to go straight to about here, you're going to move left, going to move right, going to move back to center, move center again, and then you're going to go this direction, and then back to center, and then come back down the middle. And then you're going to turn around to finish. Heian Yondan also is going to be one of those kata that you don't finish right where you start. So I know I've mentioned that several times, that with most of your kata, you're going to begin and end about 1 to 2 feet away from where you start. Heian Yondan is slightly different because with Heian Yondan, you actually perform a hizagiri here and land in a Shotokan, and then you step into another Shotokan. So even though you start here, you're going to finish about here. You're still about 1 to 2 feet away from your beginning point, but again, your end point is not precisely where your beginning point is, very, very, very close to, all right? Lots of new techniques here with this kata. So that's why I'm breaking this up into 2 different videos. So intermediate class 5 and intermediate class 6 will be Heian Yondan part 1 and Heian Yondan part 2. So that said, let's take a look at the beginning of Heian Yondan. All right, so Heian Yondan is going to start off with a new technique called Kaishu Haiwan Uke. All right, Kaishu Haiwan Uke is a slow block. It is a double window pane block, very similar to Heian Nidan, where we're bringing our arms like this, except with Kaishu Haiwan Uke, you're going slow. All right, so what does that look like? So the first thing you're going to do is just like in Heian Sandan, is you're going to drop into a back stance, just like with Heian Nidan. You're dropping into a back stance. Remember, we don't step into the back stance, you drop into it. So your center of gravity is lowered. Okay, so from here, from this position, from Shizentai, all right, and you're here in Yoi, all right, you're dropping. So your center of gravity drops as you make that step into your back stance. Okay, and then we talked about this transition before. We talked about transitioning from the left to the right, again in back stance, in Kukutsudachi. What does that look like? All right, so before I get to the Kaishu Haiwan Uke, let's just talk about this stance transition again. So you dropped into your back stance, you're facing this direction. Now how do we get facing to the right? Well, we don't have to step, right? We're just transitioning our weight and moving on the ball of our feet, okay? So just like this to here. So this is how we start, rotate to here. All right, so it's just, again, rotating on the balls of our feet, weight is still on our back leg. You're transitioning, all right? So your weight is here, transition, here. And your weight is back, all right? And again, we're still on the ball of our feet, all right? Or the heels, I'm sorry, the heels of our feet. That I always call it the ball of my foot because it feels like the ball, but this is not, all right? So this is the heel of your foot. So this is what you're rotating on. The ball of your foot would be this part, okay? The heels of your foot is what you're rotating on. It's your heels, all right? Just like that. Okay? All right, so let's talk about this, this first technique, this Kaishu Haiwanuke. All right, so you're here. We're going to drop in, and again, like I said, very slowly, you're dropping into your stance at a normal speed, and you take your hands and drop them back. Okay, so here, drop your hands back. Okay, your left hand over your right, and then slowly bring your hands to here. Transition to the other side, and as you transition to the other side, you're going to quickly drop your hands. So here, quickly drop. Right hand over left, slow Kaishu Hawanuke. All right? So that is the beginning of the kata. That's how the kata starts. All right? So let's look at this from the beginning, from here. I'm in Shizentai. I've announced kata, Heian Yondan. I'm going to look left, hands drop, slow Kaishu Hawanuke. Hands drop, slow Kaishu Hawanuke. All right, just like that. Very simple, straightforward, but it is done intentionally slow. All right, so just think about that. It is done intentionally slow. So don't try to speed this up. You're not going from here and dropping here and here. All right, that's not what this kata is. It is intentionally slow at this particular part. All right, the beginning portion is slow. So again, let's go from here. Do this with me. We're in Shizentai. We've announced kata and hajime. So look left, hands go down, up, slow to here, transition to there. All right? I think that's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to understand. All right, so it's very similar, like I said, with Heian Yondan. We're dropping into this and performing 2 strikes, rotating, again on the heels for the 1-2. All right, so you've done this before. All right, we've done this with Heian Yondan. It's very similar to Heian Yondan. That transition from Kakutsudachi to the left to Kakutsudachi on the right. The only difference is the Kaishu Haiwanuke versus the Joran Niyuke. All right, versus that double window pane block. All right, so the next technique that we're going to pick up here is a Juji-uke. So this is a Gedan Juji-uke. So from here, we got our hands up in this Kaishu Hawanuke block. We're stepping up with our knees bent and then transitioning to this Gedan Juji-uke. All right, so let me look at it from here. So here's our back stance, our Kaishu Hawanuke. So when you step up with your left foot, you're bringing your left foot to your right, knees are bent, and it's almost like you're taking a baseball swing, like you're putting your hands together and getting ready to swing a baseball bat. Okay? Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Here, you're preparing for that Gedan Juji-uke, that down block, that down cross block. So here, your right hand on top of your left, and there's the block. Okay? This is your Gedan level Juji-uke cross block. All right? You can see why they call it a cross block. Again, straight down to there. All right? So that is the beginning of the kata. All right? It's very straightforward. And at this level of being intermediate, pretty easy to pick up on that, right? So let's try that again. So we're starting here in Shizentai. And we've announced kata. We're going to look left, drop, slow Kaishu Hawanuke. Transition, slow Kaishu Hawanuke, step up, get ready to swing that baseball bat, come down into that cross block. All right, let's do that a couple more times, and then we'll do it with a little bit of speed. All right, or not even with a little bit of speed, but at the pace that the kata should be performed. All right, so I don't want to say speed because we're going slow with the first two techniques, right? Because you have to go slow. That's the way the kata works. All right, so let's do it again from here. In Shizentai, so this would be the speed. I'm going to count this out for us. Ready? Hajime. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Okay, so I am counting that sum, the third step, as this up portion where you're standing. Even though your knees are bent, you are transitioning from one technique to here to here. It should look very smooth. It should look as if it's flowing into one thing. All right, so from here, right, it should look like this. Okay, you're transitioning into a front stance, but you're stepping up first. So it's like you're cutting pie with your foot. You're cutting that half circle. Okay, so here, it comes to here, and then out to there. Okay, so it is definitely not going here, right? Your foot is coming up before it steps out and your back foot turns slightly so you can get into that Juji-Uke down block. Okay? So let's try that a couple more times. I'm going to try it at the normal place where I would start my kata, would be here. All right, from Shizentai and Hajime. All right, do it again by the numbers, so listen for my count. All right, so again, it's going to be a 3 count. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a 4 count. The 3 is standing. The 4 is that Gedan Juji-Uke. Okay, so this is a 4 count. Ready? From Shizentai, we've announced kata and Hajime. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Yame. Alright? Alright, so that is the first section of this kata. You're starting here, you're going left, you're going right, and then you're moving into this first transition where we're moving forward. Okay? So the next technique is a technique that you're familiar with, luckily. This is a Moroto Uke. Alright, so this is a supported block in back stance. So we're here in our Juji-Uke. So now we're going to step forward into that Moroto Uke, that supported block. So your hands have to come to this side of your body to throw that block, right? Because Moroto Uke comes from the hip, right? It is thrown with power by that hip rotation. Okay, so let me face you here, right? So we're in Shizentai, we're in Zenkuzu Dachi front stance, we're in this Juji-Uke down block, this cross block. All right, so here, right? Here, so we're starting, and we're stepping into a back stance. So, each, knee. Okay, again, back stance. This heel, if you were to draw it straight back, should land on this heel, and you should be at a 90-degree angle where they come together. All right, so again, supported block comes from the hip. So this is your Juji-Uke. Each knee. Look at where your block is. It's not up here. Right? It's not above my shoulder. Right? But it's somewhere in between. And it's going to depend on your body type, how long your arms are, things like that. But the block should be approximately here. Okay, and it is a block as if someone is punching. So this is as if I'm moving into punch. All right, so let's say I kicked and I'm punching, okay? So my kick got blocked by your Juji-Uke, right? I saw you coming with your kick, I blocked it, and now I see you coming with a punch, I'm blocking it, okay? So the kick comes in, it gets blocked, now I'm punching, that gets blocked with that Moroto Uke, right? So that is practicality, putting that into a bunkai situation, all right? So you kind of understand exactly what's happening. So let's look at that a couple more times. So from here, in Shizentai and our Juji-Uke, ready? together with me into that Moroto Uke. We're going to do this in a 2 count. Ready? Ich, ni. Again, from here. Ready? Ich, ni. Okay, so your hands go to your hips, and then your hips throw that block out there. Okay, hips, block. The transition from Zenkudutsudachi to Kakutsudachi gives your hips the momentum to throw the block. All right, let's start from the beginning. All right, so from the very beginning of the kata, doing all 4 techniques. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's do this with me. So the count will be, this will be a 5 count, okay, because I am counting this portion before we move into the Juji Uke. So this will be a 5 count, but we're doing 4 techniques. Okay, 5 count on 4 techniques. Ready? We've announced kata, Heian Yondan, and Hajime. Ich, ni, son, yon, go. You know what I mean? All right. Hopefully you got that. Hopefully that's pretty well explained. All right. So I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to face you. So from here, ready? Heian Yondan. Ready? Hajime. Ich. Ni. Son. Yon. Go. Yame. All right, so again, that is this first section, right? I'm still in the first section, right? That is the end of the first section. This next section, what I'm going to call section 2, is a bit more complex. Now, it is very similar in the fact that we repeat what we're doing to the left, but on the right, okay? So we've just gone through, we've done this Kaishu Haiwan Uke on the left, we've done it on the right, now we're moving to center, so we've done our block, and another block, okay? From this block, all right, from Moroto Uke, I'm going to step up, cup and saucer. Right hand is the saucer, left hand is the cup. All right, so we'll count this as 1. 2, bring your leg up. 3 is going to be a side kick with an Urikanuchi back fist at the same time. Again, where do we pull that from? We pull that from the kata Heian Yondan, right? Because after we perform both of our window pane blocks, we come back to here and we do that exact same technique, right? We kick and back fist at the same time. Your leg comes up, kick, back fist, except you land in a Shuto Uke, right? The difference here, you're here, cup and saucer, just like with Heian Yondan, up, kick, elbow strike. All right, so that you're kicking and landing in an MP-uchi and a Zenkudutsudachi front stance. All right, so I'm going to do that towards you so you can see that. So we've just done our Moroto Uke here. Stepping up. This is 1, 2, bring your leg up. 3, 4. It's a 4 count technique, 4 count move. Okay, so even though all you're doing is 2 keyhole techniques, because you're doing 3, but 1 is done simultaneous, right? Because your kick, your yoko geri is the same as the urikan uchi, all right? So the back fist and the kick are done at the exact same time, and then you're landing in an MP uchi where you're grabbing someone's head and pulling it into your elbow. Okay, so even though it's technically 3 techniques, 1 and 2 being done at the same time or simultaneously, this is a 4 count keyhole technique. Okay, so let's look at it. I'm going to look at it facing you this time. All right, so we've done this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Once you land, you're going to come back into that cup and saucer. This time your saucer is your left hand, your cup is your right hand. Just exactly this time, like Heian Yondan, we're going to kick to the right and back fist at the same time, landing in that MP-uchi. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Same 4 count. All right. Everything that you just did to the left, you're doing to the right.
Okay? So again, this is pretty self-explanatory as far as that goes. Everything you've done to the left, you're going to repeat to the right, then you're going to move to the middle. You're going to do something to the left, you're going to repeat it to the right. Then we're going to move back down the middle. Okay, so this is just section 2. So let's review section 1 one more time and transition into section 2. I'm going to do a full count for this, so listen to my count. All right, so, and remember that after the Moroto Uke, we're going to 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 2 4 count techniques, which are your kicks. All right, landing in that Empiuchi. Okay, so again here, listen for my count. Ready? Heian Yondan. Hajime. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Go. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. You know what I mean? Okay. Hopefully you got that, right? Okay. Again, that 4 count with the kick, the MP, the Uriken and the MP. Transitioning back to the other direction, doing the same thing, the Uriken with the kick, with the Empiuchi at the end. Okay, so let's do that a couple more times. This time I'm going to face you, all right, just so you can get another angle on it. So we're here. We've announced Kata Heian Yondan. I'm going to count through it again for us. Ready? Hajime. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Go. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Pulse. Nane. Okay. So again, you've seen me do this a couple times. We've done it together a couple times. All right. Take the time again to pause, rewind, take a look at this as much as you need to until you feel comfortable being caught up to this point. All right. Going through that section 1. Okay. Section 1 ends here. Okay. Section 2 begins with your kicks. All right. Your MP, your back this direction, MP. Okay. That's going to be section 2. Section 3, just trying to think. So section 3 would be that 3. I'm going to include this in section 2. All right. So I don't want to move on to section 3 until we get to our next class. So intermediate class 6 or part 2 of learning Heian Yondan that'll be next week. Okay. This week I just want to focus on section 1 and 2. So we're not quite done with section 2. I want to introduce another new technique for you. All right. So this technique is very different. This technique we've not done yet, but this technique is important to learn because you'll see it several more times in other kata. Kankudai, for instance, I believe you do it at least 3 times. Okay. So it is a very popular technique as we move forward. All right. So what does it look like? What is it? So I'm going to pick up from here and I'm going to perform the entirety of section 3. Okay, so of section 2. All right, so this is the end of section 1. All right, so I'm not going to count. I'm not going to announce anything. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. This is the end of section 1. Okay. So that is the end of section 2, right? That is all of section 2. We started with the end of section 1 and then moved into section 2. And I just finished section 2 for you. So you just saw that technique. That technique is several things together, okay? Let's start with the Empiuchi. All right, so this is where you've ended what we've known so far, our practice thus far. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to throw a Shuto Geta Mirai. So your left hand is going to come down your right hand comes up to block. Okay, again, from here, my right hand simply does this. My left hand is going to go down in that Shuto Gedanbarai. All right, and this is done very quickly. The transition from this to the next technique are done very quickly. But I'm not stepping. Okay, so I want to make sure you notice that I'm not stepping with my feet. I'm not going from here to here. It's just a turn. So I'm twisting my body to here. All right, and I am actually this time on the balls of my feet. On the ball, not the heel. I'm getting it right this time. All right, so normally, like I said, if you're transitioning from Kakutsudachi, right, you're on your heels, or you're turning like this. This time, we're on the ball of your foot. The balls of your feet are what's making that transition. Before we get there, Enpyuchi. Right hand up, left hand down into Geidan Shuto. And now you're transitioning on your feet like I showed you. Your left hand is going to come up to where this one is, blocking your forehead. Your right hand is going to perform at Jodan level Shuto Uchi, right? Uchi means strike. All right, just like that. Let's look at that several more times, right? And let's break it down. So what is the technique? It's a Jodan Shuto Uchi. Jodan, head level. Shuto, ridge hand or knife hand. Uchi, strike. So, here, Jodan Uchi, Jodan Shuto Uchi. Okay? This hand is simply striking there. Okay? Again, you're here, striking there. This time, watch my feet. Here, there. All right, so you see, I'm in. This is not necessarily a front stance. This is not necessarily a Zenkuzudachi. I would maybe call this a bit of a Fudodachi, right? Because I'm up in an immovable stance. I'm not really extended out fully in a Zenkuzudachi stance. It's more limited here in like a Fudodachi type of stance. Okay, so this is a Zenkuzudachi front stance. It's a right front stance. We're here, and now we're transitioning here to there. All right, this time let's watch the left hand. The left hand is going from this Geidan, the Shuto Geidan, and just coming to here. It's almost like a salute maybe, if you want to equate it to something like that. You're here, the hand comes up to here. Okay? So a couple things your body's doing simultaneously. Here to here. Again, here. All right? So you're here, if you're here, if this Enpyuchi, Ichi, Ni. Okay, again, from here, Ichi, Ni. All right? All right, I hope you understand what I'm talking about there. Let's do it from a couple different angles. Again, I just want you to see various angles of this. Maybe you're going to catch something that you're not catching from there. All right, so this is my MP. I'm going to face you. My Enpyuchi. Now I'm turning to the left. Here, here. Okay, again, Enpyuchi. Ich, ni. Here. Ich, ni. Okay, I'm going to turn again, this time I'm in this direction. Enpyuchi. Ich, ni. Okay, one more time. Enpyuchi. Ich, ni. Right? This time we're going to start with back to, I just want to give you all angles. Okay? So this time we're here. Enpyuchi. Ich, ni. Ready? Ich, ni. All right? And again, I'm going to go from this angle. Just this is where we started. We've done this several times, so take a look again. Here. Ich, ni. And this is done very quickly, right? Hopefully you saw that whenever I performed that section of the kata. I'm going to do it again for you right now, just so you can see how fast this should go. Okay, so I'm going to start from the Murota Uke here. So this is the end of section 1. This is the last technique in section 1. we're doing section 2. Ready? Yeah, man. All right. So you can see how fast that section kind of goes. I'm not speeding it up and I'm not slowing it down for you in any way. This is how I would typically do the kata. That said, let's do the kata. All right, so I'm going to count it out for us. I'm going to count this one out slow, okay? I'm going to count it out slowly, and then I'm going to count it out a little faster, okay? And then you're going to do it on your own a couple times, so we can just see how it feels, okay? All right, so we're here. Let's go through protocol together. Yoidachi. Let's do Yoidachi. Ready? Yoi. And hajime. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Go. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Go. And yame. So you notice that one technique, okay, that Geiran Shuto, twisting and turning into that Jodan Shuto Uchi, is counted as one technique, because that's how fast it goes. It's not looked at as two techniques. Okay, it's looked at as someone's coming towards me, I'm blocking and striking. Okay, it's a very quick technique, and it looks like one move. Okay, it shouldn't look like two moves. It should not look like 1, 2. It should look like one move. All right. Again, from another angle, it should look. Well, we look facing here. It should look like one move. Here to there. Okay. Here to there. That block is quick. Comes up as you transition from that MP Uchi to that Jodan Shuto Uchi. So practice that. Practice that several times. Just like I practiced it here, showing you different angles. Go through that with me. You don't have to do it from different angles, but watch me do it from the different angles while you do it looking at me, so that you can see and you can start to build speed with that. All right? Because that's key. It's very important. And again, it is a technique that you're going to use and see several times. Okay, not just this one time. All right, so let's go through that kata again by the numbers. All right, this time I'm going to go a little bit faster. I'm not going to go as slowly as I did the first time. So walk through this with me, okay? Ready? Subirachi. Ready? Yoi. Heian Yondan. Hajime. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Go. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Ichi. Ni. Son. Shi. Go. Okay. So again, it's not a long portion of the kata to say that that's section 1 and 2. That's just section 1 and 2. Okay. There's still section 3, section 4, 5. We'll call it 5. All right. For the purposes of learning the kata, because when we get into next week and we start going through sections 3, 4, and 5, all right, they're not as complex. Again, it's some repeats of some things that we know. And then there's a lot of kicks. Okay, so this kata has a lot of kicks as opposed to any kata we've learned thus far, right? So Heian Yondan has like 2 kicks, maybe 3 kicks. Sandan, I would call them kicks, but you know, we also look at these as kick checks, right? So as if someone's kicking, and you're just checking that kick as you transition to the side. Okay, so, but it could also be that Mikatsuki Geri, which is the crescent kicks, where you're kicking and then bringing it down, and then turning, kicking, and bringing it down. So, it just depends how you want to look at it. Hand Nidan, about 3 kicks. Hand Sandan, maybe 3 kicks, unless you're looking at those as leg checks. Otherwise, Heian Yondan has 4 kicks and a knee. Okay, we haven't gotten there yet, but that'll be section 5, that last section where we're actually throwing a knee. So, pretty complex, very different kata as opposed to anything we've done thus far, which is a good thing, right? All right, so let's look at it one more time. This time, your own speed and pace, okay? But remember that first section is slow. That first section is never fast. So regardless, that first section will always go slowly. It is how the kata is performed. All right, so I would tell you at this point or maybe later on, you should take a look at, and I'll put his name down here, but it's a book that I typically recommend for people who are learning Shotokan karate, that you should pick up this book. And in the book, it demonstrates, or this sensei is demonstrating the kata throughout the book. Every kata, he demonstrates it, and it's picture by picture with the words and explanation of each technique as you go through. But also, you can look it up on YouTube. It's very old. The video is very old. I think it's at least 10 or 12 years old. But it's him doing the kata, okay? And it's how he does it. And again, that portion is always done slowly. So there is no speeding that up. And I know that you'll hear me say multiple times, to find your own karate, okay? You're not doing my karate. So you're not doing Justin's karate. You're not doing the sensei that taught me. I'm not copying his karate for me so that I could teach you. I'm teaching you Shotokan karate, but you have to find your style. You have to find your karate, okay? So that's what I'm asking you to do at this point. Yes, this section is slow. It's supposed to be slow. But whenever you get to the kick section, maybe you want to slow this down before you do the kicks, okay? That's up to you. Everything else really is up to you. So whenever you throw this and you want to stop, that's fine. Or do you want to throw that and then block immediately and then stand and then take a second and perform this kick slowly? And how do you want to perform that kick, right? Do you want to perform the side kick where we talked about this one? Do you want to perform that side kick where we talked about that one? Okay? You have options. And again, it's about you finding your karate. It's about finding what you're comfortable with. All right, what you're able to do even, okay? So, a good kata to watch, all right? And you can probably go to YouTube right now and find 40 different people doing this exact kata. And probably at least a quarter of those will be teaching you exactly how to do it from beginning to end, just like I'm doing, but they're gonna do it at a much faster pace. That's neither here nor there. What I really wanted to get at here is that this first section is done slowly, okay? As you move through the rest of the kata, it's kind of your pace, all right? So that's what we're doing right now. So I want you to find your pace, all right? I want you to find your speed and power, understanding this section is done slowly, all right? So find your own speed and pace, all right? Ready? Yodachi, Sudachi, ready? Yoi. Announce kata. Heian Yondan. And Hajime. Could be a few seconds. And Yame. Okay, so hopefully you found what you're comfortable with. Hopefully you found your speed and power with this. And I know you're just learning it, all right? I know that maybe you missed a technique or two here. There's not a lot of techniques that we've done thus far, right? What we've done here to the left, we've repeated to the right. Then we've thrown one new, this Juji Uke. Then we've thrown this Rota Uke, which you know. And the next thing we're doing is throwing a kick that you've done in Heian Yondan. We're just throwing it to the left. And then we're throwing it to the right. The new technique being that Jodan Shuta Uchi, right? That Geidan knife hand, and then that all at once, which is tricky. Okay, I know it is tricky. So just go through that several times, all right? Rewind that section and start from there and move forward up to this point again. Or watch this entire video at least twice, all right? At least 2 to 3 times before you go to the next class, the intermediate number 6. Because intermediate number 6, we're going to go through the remainder of Heian Yondan, and we're going to practice Heian Yondan several times, okay? So it's good to know that first section very well, section 1 and 2, before you start learning 3, learning 4, learning 5, and then putting it all together by the end of class. All right, so make sure you really go through this class again a few times. All right, so let's do Heian Yondan a couple more times up to the point that we know. All right, again, just up to that section, the end of section 2, where we would normally start section 3. All right, so let's just go through it a couple more times. Ready? All right, let's do this by the numbers. So I'm going to count it out for us at least twice, and then we'll do it again at your speed and pace for you. Okay? So we're here. Misurachi, ready. Yoi. Heian Yondan. And Hajime, ichi. Ni. Son, yon, go. Ichi. Ni, son, shi. 1、2、3、4、go! Amen? Okay? Hopefully you felt pretty good about that. I'm going to slow it down for us for this next one, and then you're going to go at your own speed. Right? So we're going to slow it down a little bit for this one. Actually, let me face you this time. So I don't know if you want to take a minute to watch this one and then rewind it and do it with me, but I'm going to do it facing you. Maybe just seeing it from a slightly different angle will help a little bit. I'm going to move over slightly because I know we're going to be coming right down the center and I want to be coming right to you. So we're here. Surachi, Rei, Yoi, Heian Yondan, Hajime, Ichi, Ni, Son, Shi, go. Ichi, Ni, Son, Shi, Ichi, Ni, Son, Shi, go. Yame. Os. All right. So maybe that helped a little bit, maybe it didn't. I just wanted, again, to show you a little slightly different angle, so maybe you're not so used to seeing me do it from here. Okay, so, and do that yourself. I know I've said this before, but change up maybe where you do your kata. I would typically start here as well, but I feel like I'm going to be off camera a lot. But you know what, I'm going to do it from there anyway. I'm going to start it there and go in this direction. So you might, I feel like you're going to lose a little bit, but you should be doing this with me anyway at this point. So again, this is your own speed and pace, but I'm going to do it from a different angle just so that you can see me do it from a different angle. And I suggest you do that as well, because I don't want you to get used to landmarks. Again, if you're in your home and you have, okay, so you know to stop at the table and then turn left or whatever, or you know that the couch is going to be right there, so you have to adjust your stance slightly. So adjust where you start the kata so that you're not making those adjustments throughout. That way, whenever you go to a dojo or you go to an open gym or you have a big mat to perform the kata on, you're not stifling yourself because like, oh, normally the couch is right there, so I can't do that. Okay, so just think about those things as you go through kata on your own, wherever you happen to be working. All right, so I'm going to start this one here. I'm going to step out a little bit because I'm not going through the full kata. So I'll start here. Okay, ready? Subirachi, ready? Yoi. Heian Yondan. Your own speed and pace. Ready? Hajime. Right? Os. All right, some of you may have noticed on that, I did step out a little bit for that Jodan Shutouchi. So from here, sometimes I will step slightly to do that. That's okay. You don't have to rotate. For beginners, it's easy to learn by rotating. It's easy to learn by just doing this. Okay, I'm on, I'm shifting from here to there. Okay, but for more power and speed, you kind of throw that. Okay, you're just shifting on your right foot, but your left foot may step just slightly. Right, so, and that's okay. So I just want you to be aware that's okay if you slightly move that left foot. If you step out to again gain power and speed to actually throw that technique. Okay, let's go through it one more time before we close out class today. I'm going to do it again from another angle just to kind of throw some variation out there. Let's start here. All right, ready? Again, your own speed and pace. All right, ready? Yodachi, Sudachi, ready? Yoi. Heian Yondan. And Hajime. Right. So that is section 1 and section 2 of the kata Heian Yondan. So again, intermediate class. Next class, we're going to learn sections 3, 4, and 5. We're going to put it all together and we're going to perform this kata quite a few times by the end of class. Okay, so let's get together here. Bring it together. And Subarachi, ready? Yoi. Seiza. All right, today's meditation, let's go through section 1 and 2. Think about this kata in your mind and go through section 1 and 2, thinking about foot placement, thinking about the kihon techniques that you're throwing, and thinking about timing. All right? Mokuson. 目標やめ先生によれててすぐらちright Yoi Os. Alright, thank you all for joining me for this class. My name is Sensei Justin. This has been the beginning sections of Heian Yondan. Join me in next class for the ending section of Heian Yondan.